Okay, so back in 2015, I'm talking about Jade Helm software and Jade 2 software and a lot of deep stuff today. Back in 2015, everybody was saying, oh, martial law is going to come in effect. They're doing martial law exercises in all these different states. And what was really going on was they were practicing this supercomputer software on people, certain people. And I'm just going to read this. Gustavo 666 is, and they called it Jade Helm, and everybody was panicked thinking martial law was going to come into effect. Well, sort of did come into effect, but it by tracking and tracing people and using AI software on them. So Gestapo 666 is short for Global Intelligence Syndicate, secret, satanic, space surveillance, stalking, tracking, torture, terrorism, psychotronic, psychological warfare. Jade Helm 15, Joint Assistant for Development Execution, AI Quantum Computing Software. HELM stands for Homeland Eradication of Local Militants to Master the Human Domain. And that's just what they've done. Okay, all forms of asymmetrical. Okay, bear with me here. All forms of asymmetrical unconventional warfare, which involves military branches, special forces, all involve crisis actors, ex-military and plainclothes, surveillance role players on the ground, all utilize a satellite geographic information grid, smartphone, cell phone tower system, AI supercomputers, big data, NSA mass surveillance, snitch programs. Number four, all are covert psyops surrounded by secrecy. Some speculate to gather game theory style data, target an audience, data collection in terms of risk management and game theory for intelligence agencies and front tech companies. This is still going on. All are considered with ID and elimination target threats or dissident extraction or rendition of insurgents, red list, extraction drill with dissidents as enemies of the state. All put the U.S. public in the role of the enemy and involve brutal subjugation of the American people. Number seven, all like the CIA's Phoenix program in Vietnam are deployed to win over the hearts and minds of the civilian population through torture and terror. Eight, all involve extraction up to elimination of civilian threats with no due process or law and suspension of constitution. All are highly unconstitutional. All amount to stage managed civil war. All involve an AI cognitive software program based on network centric warfare system at the helm. And all are could be preparatory to imposition of martial law. When you invade a country and start murdering citizens, you can expect resistance from within the domestic population. When the government tells you who the enemy is, you have war. When the people figure this out on their own, you have revolution. All TCs are beta tests for 5G, which is deployed with cyber warfare and control from Israel. By the United States, black bagging, torture, terror, use of black sites, rendition centers. Number two, moving towards total technocratic rule, AI supercomputer software, SOCOM. Okay, let me go down here. America is the battlefield, and we, the human population, are the enemy. Jade 2, used in Jade Helm 15, is an AI quantum computing system that can make decisions, set up battle plans, identify, formulate plans, take out targets for dissident distractions, etc. It takes responsibility for doing these things. It's an autonomous software system based on AI. Threats are actually threats to continue to the government or global government, intended to obtain dominance in cyberspace and uses adaptive learning function of AI. The goal is C2, command and control technocratic rule. They're taking decision making and handing over to AI systems. E. In the Jade Helm 15 paramilitary exercises, supposedly 1,200 to 1,600 special operation forces from the branches of the military interagency partners in this 2-month long military covering 8 states and 25% of the continental U.S. Jade Helm is a psyop. Though through a secret, it creates anxiety in the populace, a rain of emotional responses on the civilian side to use to develop a force management response on the military side. And what I'm trying to tell y'all is this Jade Helm hype was a front run to these AI supercomputers running our targeting. They want to be able to determine how well they can socially engineer the public before an event occurs. Jade Helm is a system rollout. Indeed, Jade Helm has already been successfully tested in the past. In Iraq, Afghanistan, during the chaos of Haiti, Hurricane Katrina, this suggested it's designed to contain and control the public's response to chaotic situations contrived and executed by government. It's just a sublayer A Jade Helm is just a sublayer on top of a much larger command and control system already in place. GeoInt, Geospatial Intelligence Network. This goes beyond military applications. It's global in scope. It includes everything regarding the internet, social platforms. If something has the word smart in front of it, smart grid, TV, phone, appliance, all these are plugged into the gig. This is the system supported and distributed by multinational intelligence collaboration, domestic interagency collaboration, police, by the proponents of government global governance. Geointelligence is a tool for the proponents of the global governments for them to cast a neural net over humanity. How do you control 7 billion people? You control the environment they live in. Using big data, geointelligence maps human dynamics, human terrain, human geography. Individual humans are nodes on the geoint human network are considered human inventory items. All data is collected on all nodes. Threat assessment fusion centers are global and are an integral part of this program. The system can and will be used to kill people, targets, distance. Enemy system can deliver order to boots to the ground. People will become human nodes on this geospatial intelligence networks. They can unplug you from the network by erasing your data and eliminating your connectivity to the gig. If you can't buy, sell, work, obtain life essentials like that, you will be doomed. Thus, the systems of technical approach to tactics employed in the Nazi and Communist Germany by the Stasi, brown shirts, and the SS, including gang stalking domestic enemies. There's a technological version of those social engineering pacification tactics that they used then. It's also a technical version of CIA's Phoenix program that killed 25,000, 40,000 Vietnamese citizens designated as threats to the American takeover of that nation. Okay, Jade 2 computer software. Jade 2 computer software is a technology that allows battle to be run by computers, not by generals. What's in the news? Jade Helm is highly sanitized. Jade 2 system capable uses vast sums of information collected on individuals, groups, countries, dumps this information into human terrain assessment. Human terrain assessment, once HTA, determines norms for behavior. This is the human domain. This information can be stored in Prodigy module, battle planning module. This is a military civilian application. It can create holographic battlefield simulations on the fly. Case-based reasoning module adapts its plans to changing the human terrain, human activities. It can read and measure human emotions. It can change its own course of action on the fly. Where's the central point for the data? The geographic information grid. These data dump centers in Bluffdale, Utah. Force management model developed by MITRE companies. Government now perceives American people as its greatest threats. Patriots will be classified as terrorists. Terrorist government will be deemed patriots, and so forth. And this has already happened. Machine interpretation of commander's intent. One of these papers states the system sits on a global information grid, which is a flexible, scalable, dynamic architecture in order to support multilateral civilian military operations. This approach uses a set of cognitive constructs that translates tactic knowledge to the focal knowing of the objective world. And mind mapping. How are they accomplishing all this? They are mapping your mind. They are creating these maps with all this information that's being collected on everyone regarding every aspect of their lives. The macro cognition component of the system is the process of dissecting human domain. Cognitive and adaptive learning capabilities enables the machine to predict the intent of targets, either the enemy or the civilian, and it can predict a range of potential behaviors of the targets, and it does this instantaneously. The system's making decisions for them. For a joint commander to define an instruction set to a military civilian joint force mission to transform a falling state to an agreed upon non-falling end state is a problem. Jade Helm is just a sublayer on top of a much larger system already in place, which is Geospatial Intelligence System, Jade 2 computer software. It's all network topography and optimized communication data transfer. Everything, communications is tied to the gig. The software is being used now. Another command and control problem is the system designed to handle this. The enemy has always been able to adapt to a rapidly changing environment to hide itself from exposure. In order to adapt itself to combat this problem, the kill chain had to be compressed from hours to seconds. The system removes the administrative delay in the kill chain. It has no moral compass, empathy, or regrets. It's a computer program. The system's designed to achieve dominance in cyberspace, cyber power, cyber strategy. The capability will continue to evolve, though key technical, social, and information trends begin to stabilize. It will capitalize on social engineering for offensive military and civilian operations. In other words, this is a technical approach to gang stalking tactics employed in Nazi Germany by Stasi's, the brown shirt, and SS. This is just a technological version of these crowd social engineering tactics they used then. And J2, crowd control and pre-crime. J2 has a sophisticated decision support system for crowd control to control civil unrest. It develops models, predict future crime, formulates course of action. It's a self-organizing, vision capable, expectation capable, recognition capable, situationally aware, emotionally intelligent, goal-oriented system. The system thinks, plans, and executes. The hardware the system runs on isn't the run-of-the-mill supercomputer. It will run thousands of processors on a single chip. So when you read the SOCOM PDF, which is all over the internet, I think the secrecy, creation of fear, anxiety in the public's intentional. Jade Helm was used in Iraq and Afghanistan in 2012 and 2013. Is considered a huge success. And back on Geospatial Intelligence System. J2 is much of a larger command and control system that goes beyond the military. It's called Geospatial Intelligence System, the GeoINT. It's everything in J2 and more, and global scope, everything regarding internet, social platforms. If something has the word smart in front of it, smartphone, smart grid, smart TV, all are plugged into the gig. It's a tool for proponents of government in order for them to cast a neural net over humanity. How do you control 7 billion people? If you control the environment you live in, you can control them. It's a complete, all-encompassing command and control system. In the run around humanity's reluctance to take the RFID chips, RFID chips can be removed and disabled. The geospatial intelligence technology surpasses RFID. When people are used as geolocated nodes on a network on a human terrain system, how do you remove that? Individuals can be removed as nodes. Just disconnect them, erase their data, and eliminate their connectivity to the gig. Remove their relationships, communications, and earnings capability. The plan is that the people will be reduced to the sum total of data that's been collected on them. How do you remove who you are? What is who you are? It's everything about your activities, the people you know, your relationships, your hobbies, your activities. They've been constructed by this neural net for many years. This is a system supported and distributed by multinational intelligence collaboration, domestic interagency collaboration by the police by the proponents of global governance. GeoINT network, mastering the human domain. The phrase appears 100 times in this, in Jade Helm 2 and Jade 15. Human dynamics, human terrain, and human geography. Domestic threat centers. Activity-based intelligence gathered from open source data, Facebook, LinkedIn, internet, cloud computing, cloud storage, activities, transactions, vulnerabilities, and capabilities of individuals and groups across all domains of operation. So we're basically nodes on a network, the georeferencing data. The system's able to answer any questions that never existed in the first place. ABI, the force behind AI, breaks human domain into 4 kinds of data about the individual: biographical data, individual activity data, relational data, contextual data. The Obama phone scandal was means to put required technology into the hands of people who couldn't afford it so that they could be tracked on the global network. Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg are distributing these phones in sub-Saharan Africa. The plan is data collect and track every person on the planet, or as many as they can. If you're not collecting data, you're not going to get a good human terrain. No aspect of privacy in this new system. All these military reports repeatedly use the word actor, used in psychological operations, control the environment. The system can and will be used to kill people. That's the price you pay for advancement of this technology, and we're willing to pay the price, is what one symposium speaker said. That's crazy, ain't it? They said the price that you pay for advancement of technology, and we're willing to pay the price. NSA spying is being taken over by this geo-intelligent network. Everything plugged into it. Its main objective is to achieve centralized command and control over humanity. Every human will become a node and a sensor in the gig from a material physical standpoint, and they will become a human inventory item. The system collects biometric data, such as biological application program interface. Each person has their own. This allows them to circumvent the RFID system, which means they don't need chips. It will develop and execute its own directives based on its interpretation of political will. These are documents that were military documents that were republished and put up here by this. I don't know who wrote this article, They're not talking about political will of nation states. There won't be any. They're talking about political will of one centralized global government. Predictive software AI is the core of GeoInt system, just like in charge of J2 software system. Same technology, bigger scope. This change can change the change can change natural outcomes of human activity by predicting human behavior and reacting to it before it occurs. Two technologies can do this. Edge and Elicit are key components for prediction and reaction. Edge formulates the final line, elicits a think tank collaboration for information sharing, trust between law enforcement, community organizers, emergency responders, and peacekeeping tools. The platform is the main 1033 program in Obama's EO Executive Order 13684, 21st Century Policing of America and Intelligent-Led Policing 2. This think tank initiative is a paramount to the Stasi in Germany with an added dose of network-centric technology and military-grade equipment being thrown in just the mix for the fun. They are referenced in these orders and these policing programs. Solutions. To Jade Helm, don't respond. System responses are triggered by negative emotions. Don't be afraid or angry. The system's predicated on the fact that when you're angry or afraid, you don't make good decisions. GeoInt, you have to get off the technology grid to the best of your abilities. They've turned these technologies against us. To stop this, we need to unplug the storage data facilities. We need to erase the data. Data sweepers like Gwentires need to be disabled and jammed. We need to starve the system of the data. Drones are connected to Jade Helm 2. Take their orders from there. Jade Helm has been running from quite some time. Explosive findings about the purpose and scope of Jade Helm. It was a military paramilitary exercise in 2015. I'm not even can use vast amounts of data collected on you individuals. It dumps the information into a module, then determines behavioral parameters, norms, and establishes these parameters in the human domain. And I was in Jade Helm in 2015, and that's when my direct energy weapons started, the V2K and everything. I was in the middle of one of them operations, and they used it on me, and that's when I become hooked up to this computer. It's a human inventory system. Let's see, the system can identify human emotions. It can also identify blood pressure, temperature, and all that. Parka, another module, handles the complex queries on the NSA data dumps. J2 predicts conflicts and preempts them. They are mapping your mind, macrocognition, and it can predict intent or adversarial target and formulate a preemptive response. It can disrupt communications, reduce, choke off bandwidths of devices. To counter adaptations of the enemy, the kill chain has to be compressed from hours to seconds. The system has no moral compass, empathy, or regrets. It's been said as Minority Report's pre-crime technology. America's the battlefield, we're the enemy. It probably involves the harvesting of data. People's concerned about the exercise. And this is talking about exercise that's done happen, but I'm telling you information about what it really was. So they done it as a martial law exercise. That's what they said it was, but it really was connecting people to geospatial intelligence, the GeoInt network. It's a system rollout. It was a system rollout in 2015, and it performed well over a large geographic area. Okay, let's see. People reduce GeoInt intends to master human dang. Domestic threat centers, fusion centers are global and they're an integral part of this problem. They will be exploring the dynamics. All data is located specific when Obama. Okay, I done read that. So anyway, I just thought I would why in U.S. SOCOM RSOF command and control of the human domain document. Why all this effort? They are losing their grip. People are awakening at an accelerated pace. Propaganda machines are breaking down. Who's behind this? Who is on board? At the helm of all this costs trillions of dollars. Rationing to max profits of companies need to collect all commercial data on the planet. Jade Helm's a system rollout. They're mapping our minds, emotional, and behavioral patterns. CERN will be fired up during the exercise. Quantum computing works with the realm of physics that we know about. CERN is looking for how to map or model consciousness. How does it operate? What is the soul? How do we master it? And basically, they've done cast a neural net on all humanity, supported and distributed through multinational intelligence collaboration, interagency intelligence collaboration by proponents of global governance. We will use social networking platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, cell phones to obtain information on everyone. Decodes coded information to find a signal in the noise. It tracks all aspects of nodes on the network. Too many people are involved in government military decision making. An AI-based geo and intercept system will be put in charge. Russia will also be using this system as a geopolitical force. There's a growing need for more data collection. Okay, let's see. I'm just scrolling through this a little bit. System collects biometric data on everyone. Humans will be used as sensors in the network in addition to remote sensing devices. The system has the ability to identify political will, government casting neural net on humanity. The system harvests all commercial data, banking and purchasing practices. This could be an important tool or weapon for TPP. 90 plus companies are involved developing the technologies to master the human domain. These include Leidos Corp, IBM, ICG, Digital Reasons Foundations, BAE Systems, Cognito Corp, Activities Based Intelligence. All collected data is indexed to a spot on Earth, georeferencing, data neutrality. All data sources are equal viable for analytics. So they're just basically mining our data to control us. So they want to predict activities before they happen, intelligent-led policing, shift from concentration on nation states to smaller groups to individuals, put the clamp down on the people before anything happens. The human domain is very important to ABI, predictive intelligent forecasting, human activity, biographical information, what you do, relational, who you know, contextual information about the context in which you are the node are found, demographics, political environment, tribal customs, religion. Collect information on travel, movement of physical assets. Pentagon document released 53 pages, human roadmap system. In 2015, it was about martial law, or more likely a system rollout for autonomous warfare. They are now stating that that is what they're going to be doing. They will use all forms of communication, especially social media, as targeting telemetry for potential human threats. Humans won't be able to react fast enough to counter the AI machine actions. These electronic operations include cyber warfare, Internet of Things. Google's Project Loon has to do with transfer information and energy simultaneously. Everyone will have a digital profile and will all be categorized into desirable, undesirable groups. One criteria will be a threat level, while in practice refers to the threat level continuing of government, aka one world government. This is already rolled out. Where's the money going? Here. Computational model systems have total situational awareness, can manufacture, mainstream, broadcast on the fly. Lethal autonomous weapons can mimic human thought, action, reaction process, and they can predict it. Brain machine interfaces with soldiers on the battlefield to make them more like superhuman. So we're basically looking at total technocratic rule. This can't end well. Who's enhancing, deploying DARPA, IARPA, BBN, all the usual players with new technologies always determined to find a way to turn these technologies into a weapon. The system will target and eliminate threats, civilians based on tweets, text, blogs, audio files, video, websites, podcast data. Will now use social media analytics to make kill decisions with little to no human interaction. Swarm-based technology operating on hive mind platforms, electronic warfare will be a key and focus in this neuroelectronic warfare theater. So when you have the main brain or the hive mind making decisions that then simultaneously go out to the air, land, sea-based drones. So if you have a glitch in the hive mind program, this could cause major collateral damage. Portions of these programs are already funded. These systems will independently determine the acceptable levels of collateral damage. Based on mission analysis, these systems will determine the level of lethal force. And so anyway, that's what the goal is to get everyone connected through the internet. We're supposed to be human nodes on a network. Once you have been unplugged, you are no longer part of it. You don't exist anymore. So anyway, it says Mark of the Beast technology, internet, IoT, gig, 5G, microchips, creating huge all-encompassing planetary neural network. 5G is an expansion of the global grid. Is this fallen angel technology? That's something to think about. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the information today. Sorry it was so quick and stuff. I've been really, really tired, so I had this information for y'all for a while now. I've just been meaning to do it, so a lot of people remember Jade Helm and all that. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm trying to get interviews. I'm supposed to have one tomorrow and Friday. Last week was bomb about interviews. I had two people schedule interviews and then back out after they did the interview. They didn't, well, one of them said they didn't want to do no interviews after scheduling one. And then another one said after the interview that he didn't feel comfortable putting his interview out there, which I respect that. So that's what happened last week. I hope to have some interviews coming up for y'all. God bless all target individuals.